The wind did not just blow, it screamed. It was a jagged, icy blade that cut through the alleyways of the city, carrying with it the scent of wet asphalt and forgotten things. In the corner of a discarded cardboard box, tucked behind a rusted dumpster, two small pulses of life flickered against the dark. Barnaby, a scruffy terrier mix with ears too big for his head, huddled closer to Luna, a delicate golden retriever pup whose coat was already matted with sleet. They were barely 8 weeks old, and they were alone. The human who had brought them here in the dead of night had not looked back. He had simply set the box down and disappeared into the fog, leaving nothing but a lingering smell of cheap tobacco and the crushing weight of silence. As the temperature plummeted, the cardboard began to soften, soaked through by the freezing drizzle. Barnaby felt Luna shivering, a deep, rhythmic tremor that shook her tiny frame. He didn't know much about the world, but he knew that if they stayed in this box, they wouldn't see the sunrise. With a soft nudge of his cold nose against her ear, Barnaby urged her up. They stepped out onto the sidewalk, their paws immediately stinging against the frozen concrete. The city loomed above them like a forest of glass and steel, indifferent to their struggle. The first night was a blur of survival. They moved like shadows, darting from doorway to doorway, seeking any pocket of warmth. They found a steam vent near a laundromat, and for a few blissful minutes, the warm, soapy air thawed their bones. But the comfort was short-lived. A heavy-booted man kicked the vent cover to clear debris, sending the pups scurrying back into the bite of the winter wind. Hunger became a dull ache in their stomachs, a hollow companion that grew louder with every passing hour. They found a discarded bag of fast food scraps, but a larger, battle-scarred stray cat hissed them away, her eyes glowing like amber coals in the dark. Barnaby stood his ground, barking a small, raspy defiance, but Luna pulled him away. They weren't fighters. They were survivors. By the second day, the snow began to fall in earnest. Thick, heavy flakes blanketed the city, turning the world into a silent, white wasteland. The two friends found themselves in a park, where the trees offered a skeletal canopy. They were exhausted. Luna's pace slowed, her golden fur now a dull gray under the city lights. Barnaby refused to leave her side. When she stumbled into a snowbank, he tugged at her scruff, whining softly, promising her with every lick that they would find a way. They eventually found refuge under a park bench, huddled together so tightly they seemed like a single creature. Fate, however, had a different plan. As the sun began to set on the third day, a young girl named Maya was walking through the park with her father. She was bundled in a bright red coat, her eyes scanning the white landscape for adventure. She saw a flash of scruffy brown fur beneath the bench. At first, she thought it was a discarded toy, but then she saw the steam of a tiny breath. When the humans approached, Barnaby didn't growl. He didn't have the strength left for fear. He simply looked up with cloudy, tired eyes and placed a protective paw over Luna. The warmth that followed was unlike the steam vent or the cardboard box. It was the warmth of a wool blanket, the scent of lavender and home, and the gentle touch of hands that didn't push them away. As they were carried toward a waiting car, the heater humming a lullaby, Barnaby felt Luna's shivering finally stop. They had survived the cold, not because they were the strongest, but because they had each other. The city was no longer a forest of glass. It was finally home.